not you, but just as far as what they entitled essential workers, because when C-19 first really hit really badly, I was working in the dishwasher plant, so it's like how are we essential? like,
Mm.
like
Yeah. It's funny. It depends on whose pocketbook is talking at the
that,
time,
that part. You know,
and
I would have loved to be sitting at home.
Part
yeah,
of
I
it
didn't sit
though
at
is
home
part
during
of
the
it is
pandemic.
the
I was
the cleanliness. Like you need people to that can properly because everything was remember we
Yeah.
got crazy about the germs. We got
Uh-huh.
the droplets
essential.
and bodily
Yeah, but
fluid.
we still needed truckers. We still needed yeah, if literally every single person stayed home, uh we would have been in some real trouble. Some serious trouble because we wouldn't be able to get groceries, wouldn't be able to get anything. And those people who did work during those times, I respect them.
Uh-huh.
Um because they at that time we didn't know what was going on. And as far as we all knew, when we went to work, we were risking our lives, every single day. We didn't
Yeah.
know anything about it. We just know that people were dying left and right. And it was a scary time, you know.
Right. That is
You being
true.
a first responder, I'm sure you've seen it a lot. My brother was a paramedic at the time. I was
Uh-huh.
a cook in a high-end country club, and it was volunteer. I had to get out of the house. I couldn't deal with staying at home. They were going to pay us one way or the other,
Right.
but you know, I worked maybe 15 hours a week, but they're still giving me my 40-hour check. However, like you were saying, I wasn't getting that OT that I'm normally used to getting,
Uh-huh.
no but
soda.
oh, there was a lot of no, we were beans and rice. That was it.
Hey, hey, I
We
mean,
we got by though.
uh-huh.
But
Yeah. That's oof.
elevated. What was your point that you brought up? I was in the chat when
No,
you
I
brought it
was
up,
I was just
or
I
I
was
was in the
just
room.
I was just asking what was the definition of, the essential workers. That's all I was saying. But
I wanted to
That
go back to
depends.
something you said
Go ahead.
earlier, elevated, because I was in the chat when you asked about had anybody been laid off or fired from a job to get a better one, and I I've never been praised. No, I've never been fired. Um, but I was in a situation and it was crazy. The way the situation happened was crazy. I had my first child was about, I think she was like 4 or 5, and no, she was 2. No, I'm lying. They are not that far apart. She was 2, and I was working at this rehab. I was a clinical director, and this was it was an inpatient facility. I loved what I was doing, but the conditions were not great. And I would have stayed in that place forever because I loved the people I was working with and I loved what I was doing. And but the house was like a big house in downtown Philadelphia. There was like 20 women in there, and it was a rehab.
okay.
It was like I don't want to say this. The owner was a slumlord, but he wasn't fixing any of the utilities, and so
Slumber.
unfortunately, during the
Someone.
winter time, the pipes froze, and there was a leak that went from the 3rd floor all the way down to the bottom floor. Long story short, they were like, "Okay, we gonna send y'all." We was running a rehab out of hotel. I don't know if you realize how impossible that is. We were trying to run this rehab out of the hotel. Now hotel got a lot of stuff in it.
Right.
Anywho, the whole program ended up shutting down, and I got laid off. And when I tell you I lamented because I got laid off 2 weeks before I was supposed to deliver my child, my son. And
Okay.
if you know anything about labor, like laws, when you're on unemployment, because of course you get laid off, they're supposed to give you unemployment. It wasn't your fault you lost a job. but I couldn't get unemployment because I couldn't work. Like I literally could not work. So I was stuck. So I couldn't get unemployment
Wow.
and I didn't have no money and I didn't have no job. And I remember being like, and going back to what coach was saying, like, you don't have no income. You don't have any income. And so I remember being so angry at the situation because I was like, I was doing everything I was supposed to do. I'm helping the people. I'm doing all the things. And I realized, one, it taught me, like coach was saying, hey, don't rely on these jobs because they can decide at any moment to let you go, whether it's your fault or not. And then also, the government don't have to help you. They don't have to. They don't have to help you. And I remember I had to wait like 3 or 4 months because I had to sign off to be able to work in order to get some assistance or to get unemployment. And so did I get a better job after that? I don't know that I got a better job, but I was treated better, if that makes any sense. I didn't make any
It's a
more
better
money.
job. That's a better
That
job
sounds
right
better
off the
than
bat.
me.
That's
I love
a-
listen. If somebody told me today, "Hey, you could get the same crew, you could work with the same people," I would probably say yes. It was just the conditions were bad. The other job I went to after, they didn't tried to hire me back 4 or 5 times, and I will not go back. It's like no. So anyway, I say all that to say sometimes we don't know, but I do believe that job had to end in order for me to do some other things. Go back to school. I had time with my kids that I wouldn't have had otherwise because I would have been working. So there was good in it, but definitely had to learn some lessons in that season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I kind of have a sidebar.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it really interesting how certain things, how I'm always talking about taking things for granted? Like in this country,
All right.
we can apply for unemployment and food stamps and all of this if we're down and out. Now, granted, you might not always get it, but you get something. Because I said earlier, unemployment isn't going to get it. But if we were not here, if we were in another country, there would be no unemployment. So if you don't work,
Wouldn't
you
even
don't
be at.
eat.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You got to jump through hoops though, because kind of cousin of mine, he had some heart issues. Truck driver. He's back on the road now, but he had congestive heart failure, and he was his doctor wouldn't clear him to go back to work, but he couldn't get certain benefits. I think the only thing he was able to get was like food stamps, but he wasn't or SNAP. He wasn't able to go on disability, even though he could not. His doctor would not give him the go ahead to go back to work full time. So
Wow.
I don't know what the issue was specifically, but I just remember his frustration because the doctors was telling him his heart wasn't strong enough for him to work. But the benefits, they're like,
I've got a little input on that. Is they go by the year, my wife was pregnant with my last daughter, and she was preeclamptic, which meant her blood pressure was up, and she basically was on sentence of bed rest. So she stopped working. During that time, I was a seasonal worker, and I was out of work. And normally we can get by with her income just during the summer months because I make enough. However, now I'm not working. Now she's not working. Now we're dipping into the savings. We apply for any financial aid that we can. You know what I mean?
Right.
And nope, sorry. You made too much this year. You can't get it. Essentially. And I'm like, I'm starving now. Or I mean, we're out of money now. We weren't starving, but you understand what I'm saying? We have no income whatsoever. We still got to pay the bills. We still got to pay the lights. We still got to pay the rent. And but we got no income coming in. But they wouldn't do it because we made too much money that year. And it was like, yeah, but we need it now,
Yeah,
but that's probably I'm assuming that's the situation that your friend was in because you said he was a trucker. He was just probably in that income bracket where they were like, no, sorry.
Yeah, it might have had something to do with it. But like you said, he is he needed the money now. He needed to continue, paying
Yep.
his bills and at least feel comfortable with paying his bills. And this went on for like almost 3 years. He was out of work. Thankfully, he's back and he's working now and everything like that. But you know,
hmm
and thankfully he had something built up that he was able to, go back in there and keep himself afloat. But if he didn't have it, I always wonder about people who don't have the wherewithal or don't have the ability or that money put away. Like, what do they actually do in these times when everything is going up? So,
All right.
I just understand that people rely too much on one source of income.
Yeah.
You have to have, in
Yeah.
today's time, you have to have more than one stream. Because at any given time, even if it's a business, that one stream of income can dry up at any given moment, even if it's your business.
Mhm.
Because the economy can flip on its head, and next thing you know, your industry doesn't even exist anymore. It's no longer essential. People don't want it. They're going back to the basics and things of that nature. So it's a thing where you have to find something to do, or find a way to cause your money to make money as it relates to investment and things of that nature, to get away from the whole hamster wheel of working on a consistent basis, um, selling your time. And so I just understand that when it comes to the disappointment that comes with this is what I'm depending on, and I can no longer depend on it. Um, and the setup of, if I don't show up, they'll let me go. If I can't show up, my livelihood is in danger, and so that's the thing. I think a lot of people get comfortable in certain spaces and don't even seek to look to do anything differently or add to what they have, just in case, you know.
Agree.
Yep. That goes back to that comfort zone conversation. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
What's up, Anthony? Is she still there?
She probably holding up the sound while her screen is black. Oh damn, we was being serious. I'm sorry. Hey, Anthony's like, prove me wrong.
Hello, can y'all hear
Here she
me?
is.
Okay, we hear her now. There she
Mhm.
is.
First of all, it's amazing the things people say about you when they think you're not listening.
Who we
Did
was
you say I had a black
Ooh.
screen up?
Oh,
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Get him.
What's
Get
up,
him.
elevated? What's up, Coach Lamb Chop? Hey, Tina,
hey.
Too
Lily.
real.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing, brother? Why, y'all, did y'all see what I said? I'm not trying to be funny. I really thought, brother, because on the screen you can't really see like the full
La
panel on the
Oh,
la.
you
screen.
say you thought he was Anthony.
I said, did Anthony change his name? I asked that the other day, and I said, okay, is they trying to be funny? Because I said, why they keep calling him that? So then I'm like, wait a minute, that's not Anthony. Okay, I'm slow. But anyways, y'all,
His beard
hey,
is
how you
different.
doing,
I know
brother?
by the beard.
I'm
I was
good.
like, his beard
I
is
don't know
different.
who you're talking about, but I'm good. I'm good.
Yes, and then
You
with the
me, Anthony.
background, yeah, because Anthony like do like music and
Music,
stuff.
the music,
And
yeah.
so his background, that's why I was like, oh, that's so cool. Well, hey JD365, hey Brandon of
Anthony's.
Palm Beach, and hey Anthony. Hey Lala. I haven't seen Lala in so long, but I
What's
see her
up,
name on the screen.
Lala?
But peace and reparations to the chat mates. Thank you guys for having me. I'm just here trying to get a few minutes, I get in where I can.
Of course.
But yes, now in reference to have I been fired? Now I
Mhm.
have been fired probably like about 3 or 4 times. One of them I was gonna call it getting fired. Cause I turned in a 2 weeks notice and they call that stuff being petty. and firing me.
Got you up out of there.
So
They was like, you could leave today. I hate when people do that. You
I
salty,
ain't
you
gonna
don't do
wait
that.
an hour before my shift in to call me. Well, it
They
was
made you
virtual
work the whole
They
shit.
do
the
that. I'm sorry.
whole
As
day,
a member
y'all.
of leadership, they
Goodness,
make
bro.
you do that. They make
Oh,
you
they
do that.
do?
Yes. Because they don't want you tearing up their stuff. They rather be at the end of the day. I promise you
Hey,
this.
you gotta know. So y'all ain't follow me last year. Y'all, when them people fired me, I kept their computer so long. I ain't taking their computer back until like a week before I was about to start my new job. It was so funny. They kept emailing me and calling me, talking about, can I get back the computer? I'm like, don't try me like that. Like, cause I could have been doing other stuff and wait till the end of the day. Now on another one, let me see. Yeah, but other than that, yeah, that's it. But that was like a while ago. That
That's
was when I was young in my young hot girl days. You know, when you young, you think because like I
Yep.
always used to do like really good on interviews and
mm,
just get like all these good jobs. And when you young, you know, you just be like, I don't need this, I could quit.
yeah.
But then when you get older and you realize, okay, no, I need this job. Well, not need it, but you know, you have responsibilities, so you
Yeah.
have to think before you just.
Th-
Well, before I just be like, oh, okay, I'm finna quit.
Yeah.
This is paying the water bill. This is paying the electric bill.
Why?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I got to be here. Yeah.
Yeah. But meanwhile, you still talking your junk at the same time. Oh, I can't wait till this other job call me back. Oh, I'm
Mhm.
gonna be up out of here so fast.
Isn't it liberating when you leave a job that you hate and you just walk out and you quit? Isn't it just it's just
Yeah.
liberating,
It's
I've
a
never
you know?
done that. I've never
Mm,
quit like
mm.
that and
Oh,
walked.
I gotta
I
oh
did
I
it once.
experienced
I
a
if I
don't
couple
don't
of
if
recommend
I
things.
it.
don't if I don't like it if I didn't like a job, um I've clocked out at noon, went to lunch and never came
never
back,
came
you know?
back.
Oh
Oh
wow,
my
you
bill
know
That's,
left.
that.
It
I
left
mean,
my bill.
I
Yeah.
can't.
Um,
That's
But
liberating.
I was in a situation at the time where it wasn't like it was the dependency
Wasn't
on.
dire. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Now I got a mortgage, a little
Yeah.
bit different. I can't
You
do
got to
that, you
you
know.
got to say that. Yeah.
So,
I
but like she was saying earlier, you know, back when she was younger, you know, hey, F this place, I'm out.
Mm.
Hmm.
I have a tendency to grieve the job even if I hated it.
What? Yeah.
Really?
Mm.
Because
No
Mm-hmm.
way. Really?
sometimes it's not necessarily about the job so much as the things that make the job hard, like the people or the management. So it
Yeah.
wasn't that I wanted to actually let it go so much as I needed to keep my freedom because I was ready to go to jail. And so it was one of those things where you come into situations like that, you know,
Yeah.
and you have to make the decision, do I hold on to this and continue to go through in the fashion that I am, or do I let it go and believe that I'll recoup what I'm losing right now?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is these jobs, most of these jobs are machines, so they're gonna keep on going whether you're there or
Regardless.
not.
Regardless.
You gotta
Yeah.
if you ain't looking
Mhm.
out for yourself, then yeah, and I'm in Connecticut, so it's an at will state. So they technically they don't have to
Give
give you
you a
a reason.
reason.
They
Mm-hmm.
just get rid of you. So
Mhm.
Okay, that's the same. In Florida, we call it a right to work state, but it is exactly the same
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Yup,
Exactly the same
Florida.
thing. They call it a right to work, and basically, what that means is the employer can fire you at any time for any reason.
yeah.
That's
People
essentially
Literally.
what it
out of their
means.
mind. That's why I
Literally.
So
don't be caring. Like if I am not happy on a job, I'm not gonna be like, oh,
I
they're
thought
gonna need me if I don't if I
I thought
leave.
it.
I don't care.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
You
I
good?
thought Connecticut was a blue state.
You do that.
Whatever color it is, because I don't do politics, it's at will. I know it's at will.
That's right.
Okay, well that's generally what the red states do. Florida's big time red state. So yeah.
Florida, Duval, okay. What you know about Florida? Florida is
Florida,
Truth be
funny.
told, this
hey, we're on the news all the time. Haven't you seen Florida Man? Come on, he's our superhero.
Yes, everybody want to be Florida.
truth
Florida,
be
Florida
told,
Oh,
any of
Man.
these jobs
oh,
can get rid of you whenever they feel like it.
Exactly.
Absolutely. It's
right.
all
Because
about how they write it
Yeah,
up.
right,
It's all
exactly.
about how they
yeah,
write that thing up.
Yes. If they
That's
don't
yeah.
want you there, you don't have to clock in. I guarantee.
That's why I'm a firm
Mhm.
believer in always keep your resume hot and ready to go.
Not,
Hello.
Mm.
not the Little Caesars
F these
resume.
jobs.
Yeah. I mean,
The
one of the
best,
things that
the
I
best.
hear you, coach. I definitely hear you. I think for me, I always go back to your why because some people are working because, like somebody already said, I got mortgage, I got bills, like I'm legit just here to get I know the number that I need, and this is why I'm working. For some people, is hey, this is temporary. This is a temporary space until I can basically pay myself, so I don't have to work here anymore. For other people, they legitimately like their jobs. I don't hate my job, but it funds all the other stuff that I want to do. So I think it really depends, but that multiple streams of income and I would say making things that will incur passive income, right? Music, books, coaching programs, digital products. You can do that stuff once. You wrote the book once and it can pay you for years. You know what I mean? So I think that
Yep.
that's if you can, and I feel like everybody can now because not that I would say that you should do this, but you could get ChatGPT to write you a book if you needed to and just embellish it and make it yours. It's like having a ghostwriter. Not saying you should do that, but there's so much access to information that people
Mhm.
have. You can create products that will make you money.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Ding,
And then
ding, ding,
use
ding,
your, like, if
ding.
you're going to work a regular job, try and get into the best situation you can. At least they're giving you some kind of health benefits, and use the
Mm,
job for that reason. And then fund your interests with what you're making at work.
yeah.
If you can. I mean, it's tough out here, and the food prices ain't going down. Child.
Somebody told me they was going down. I think it was
Who
somebody's
said
chat.
that?
P9 said the food prices was going down.
Yeah, like
I
Supreme said,
mean, where do y'all be
4%.
shopping? Because the food prices definitely be going down. Now, if
I
y'all
think
in
it
like them
depends on
high
where you
behind
are.
grocery stores, be
It,
for real.
it
It
Y'all
depends.
depends.
be
It
buying meat
depends where
from
you're at.
Publix. Come on, guys. Meat from
Where
It
you
Publix.
depends
are
where you're at and where you're
matters.
talking about because
Where
food
you are
prices are going up
matters.
down here.
Yeah, I don't
Because
know.
let me explain something to you.
I go to Aldi's, and Aldi's is expensive now.
When it comes to people that live in more urban settings,
Mm,
they are more expensive
Mm-hmm.
than some of the more
Rural.
suburban
Mm-hmm.
or
mm.
rural settings. So when you talk about all the prices are going down, where do you live?
Not here, child.
Ain't you in NYC, coach?
I'm in Jersey.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Y'all stuff going up. And I'm gonna make some videos about that. It's gonna go up even higher if everybody select a certain. Yeah, they already been talking about that. They've been covering that
Mm.
for a while. They was like that stuff finna go sky high, like in New York, like in that area.
Mm.
Yep.
Right. So that's what I'm talking about. Cause you was just saying you don't know where to be shopping at. I shop
Well,
at
I forgot
Applebee's.
y'all in like those Democrat cities where if you look a lot of those cities, I'm not being funny.
No, I
Like,
hang my head in acknowledgement. That was not me laughing. I
oh,
know
I was
you
about to
telling the
say, yeah,
truth.
if you like follow, like really like pay attention, the people that everybody be rallying for, acting like they really like for that, they those are the reasons like why that stuff is going up. And so that's what like other people be trying to like, just kind of like tell people, like it all tie back to that, like they making people think it's one thing and it's really something else. But I
Mhm.
don't want to go down elevated channel, but I'm gonna make a video about it tomorrow and like share some links where people can go and like get more information to see what you can do to help maybe like not I don't know if it can prevent it, but maybe make more people aware so they can like, look into it and see what they want to do.
Cool.
Well,
No, me
I mean
too.
the fact that they're throwing out a lot of people that cultivate our food, you
Mhm.
know, the farming community. I mean, they're literally going in, arresting them, and you know, for whatever reason, legal, not, you know, I mean, we're not getting into that on there. However, that being the case, the farmers are losing their workers, their farm workers. Okay,
Mhm.
Hmm.
then you've got to then you're going to add a tariff onto everything coming in from Mexico. We get 80% of our vegetables from Mexico. You're going to throw a tariff on that. Expect prices to go up on food big time, guys. That's just a fact that's going to happen.
To be
You
Well,
know,
the
honest, like
tariffs have
it,
so tariffs are not something new though. Tariffs aren't
no, but
new,
they have
and you have
no,
to
no, no,
be.
no,
And I don't
no,
mean to
no,
cut
Nate.
you off, but the workers that you're speaking of, what workers are you talking about?
Farm workers, people
Okay,
that pick
what farm workers? I need you to break this down for people. What farm workers are you advocating for?
I'm not advocating for anybody. I'm just saying it's a fact that most of our the people that do all of our farm work, our
Mm-hmm.
actual labor,
Mm-hmm.
they're migrants. They're migrants. These
They're
people are,
migrants.
yes, the people that pick our food, yes. The people that process our vegetables, they're
Mm-hmm.
migrants.
Are you
Most.
saying they're illegal immigrants?
No, not at all.
Hmm.
So they're not
I'm
illegal immigrants. So why are they
no,
being
a lot
arrested?
of them are here on work visas because we can't do it. We don't have the labor enough to run the farms.
Okay,
Um,
so if they're on work visas,
without
why are
them,
they not still here working?
Anthony's, that's a
there's
whole different.
a
You
little
won't
thing
go
called
down that
ICE.
rabbit hole,
I don't know
child.
if you heard about that, but
I'm not. So I have heard about it, and I'm not gonna go down an elevated page, but I was gonna say I think you guys should check your source where you're getting like certain information from, because what they're wanting to do is like a modern day type slavery thing. So they have people here that are wanting to work, but if I can pay this person $20 and pay this person $7 and give them a place to stay, a lot of these greedy people are choosing the I'm gonna pay them 7 and get them a place to stay.
Hmm.
This is like based off of numbers, like information from doing research and actually talking to people. Like these big companies are hiring like illegal immigrants because the work is so much cheaper than paying people in America. And in reference to the tariffs, if we like shop in house and stop just trying to buy all this stuff out of the house, like it's so much deeper than what they tell us, y'all. We got to go like beyond the surface.
well, I kind of hear you there. But how many Americans do you know that are willing to go into 110-degree weather and pick tomatoes all day in the blazing sun? I
Well,
I
clearly,
don't know.
according
I
to
don't know.
public assistance, not a whole lot, because we have
I don't-
able-bodied people who are choosing to sit at home and not go work in the fields. Like, let's just be realistic. Okay, if those people want to do that, okay, whatever, that's fine. I'm just saying, according to like what the rules
Mhm.
are, that's all I'm saying. Like, I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah. No,
advocating. I'm
no.
not
I'm
saying,
here.
oh, they should send them back. I'm just letting you know, like when you talk about stuff, you got to let people know what it is, though, when you're talking about it. So those people that were working in those farms, they're illegal immigrants. They're wanting these people to work for the low.
What does this have to
Americans
do?
Well,
don't even.
We're
But
not just
What does
talking.
honestly,
this
Well,
but
have?
wait.
honestly, when I was talking about the food prices, it was just more so the financial aspect of it and how it's another burden on people. It
Mm.
wasn't really. I mean, I understand that the immigration issue is a big hot issue, but that wasn't really why I was bringing that up.
No, no. I was just telling you that there's. I was just
I,
explaining that that's the reason why that the prices are gonna continue to go up as well.
I have a question.
Because
I
is
have
that
a
Tina?
question.
Go ahead.
Yes, it is.
Go ahead, Miss Tina.
How do we overcome these obstacles?
Mm-hmm.
Because
That is
the reason why I ask is because there are always things that are getting more expensive.
Right.
There are always changes in the economy. There are always things that are going to affect your pocketbook, your wallet, your bank account, everything that you own. How do you protect your assets? And how do you get to a place where you're able to grow? Is my question.
Yeah.
Because
well,
beyond politics, you still
Right.
have personal responsibility.
Mhm.
I want to know, how do we do that?
I mean, that depends on the willingness of the person, because we've heard for a long time before, like the food prices were going up, we've always heard the term having multiple streams of income. People
Yeah.
hear that all the time, but are people actually actively working towards that goal?
Yes.
or
Mhm.
self-sufficient. Another
Yeah,
word thrown around is self-sufficient.
right.
Yeah.
And
And
then
I
at
think,
the
yeah.
same time, sometimes those terms, it leaves certain people out.
Yes.
It leaves certain people out. You know, the job that I did for a long time, I really had the opportunity to see poverty in this day and time. There are people that are living far below the poverty line. And when we talk about multiple streams of income, that's such a foreign idea to them because they're literally trying to survive day to day.
Yep.
So this conversation is great for people that don't have to think about that and don't have to face extreme poverty.
Mhm.
Like, there's
Yes.
extreme poverty in this country,
Yes.
and those folks don't have the opportunity to have multiple streams of income.
There
At
are
at the
children
same
going
time,
hungry.
though, at the same time, though, they don't have the opportunities that we have to make our lives better. And from that standpoint, be able to help someone who does not have the platforms that we have. At the end of the day, you have to start with someone who can,
Mm.
instead of
Right.
looking at what do we do for the people that can't. If we come into a place where, okay, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us, it's 7 of us on this panel.
Right.
Right.
There should be more than
Yep.
7 streams of income on this panel.
True indeed.
If
Yeah.
you're self-sufficient, if you have everything that you need, and when I say self-sufficient, I mean the things that you need that are necessary and overflow, meaning you have the means to be able to help someone else, lend a hand, lend your resources, lend your knowledge, whatever that is. Then you can then look at those that are less fortunate. But if you don't have it, you can't do anything in macro scale if you can't deal with the micro first.
Oh.
Right.
Mm.
So we're saying the
You
same
can't
thing.
help somebody if you can't help yourself, is what you're saying.
That's exactly what I mean.
Exactly.
And
Is
it's
that
a lot of
correct?
times we can get caught up in, oh, it's everything is doom and gloom everywhere. I'm like, yeah, but is it doom in your home? Or do you have the capacity to help someone past yourself?
Right.
Now, one person helping another person means that we can go from 7 people to 14 and from 14 to 21. But it's about making the proper connections to be able to help the people that's in your community
Right.
first.
Right.
Yeah.
Community is important. Good. That's correct.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I was going to say, somebody said, I can't remember the exact word that they said, but when they said it, I heard the word internal locus of control, right? The what I can control. Because sometimes we
Can
are
you?
very external. We're very
Right.
like society, general, I'm not, it's not a bad thing because I think you need to be aware of it. But at the end of the day, sometimes the only person or the only thing I can control is me and how I show up in society. So kind of to Tina's
Mhm.
point, if I am doing, if I have enough and some to spare, am I able to teach somebody the program, the blueprint? If you have somebody who's in extreme poverty, right? what do they have control over? Is it their mental health that's keeping them in there? Is it substance abuse that's keeping them there? Is it recidivism that's keeping them there? Is there what is happening? Like, is it legitimately they cannot find a job? Can I employ you? Like, there are certain things that we can do to help that situation that does not involve large scale macro legislation that might change tomorrow. You could fix it today, and 2 years from now, it will be in shambles again. There's a biblical principle that says that we will always have the poor with us. And so I think there's something about doing what you can with what you have and teaching other people to replicate that model. The other thing, going back to your point, I think earlier elevated, I know that the topic was what it was, like how do you overcome the obstacle is having some having responsibility for oneself and how you show up in the space and in the world. Because many people, when they get to extreme poverty, they're like, okay, it is what it is. I'm going to just sit here. And that's not blaming them. But there are other people that hit extreme poverty and end up on panels like this. So,
absolutely.
I agree with you guys. I agree, but then I disagree at the same time.
Go ahead. So, what's your disagreement?
What do you disagree with?
What's the disagreement?
What do you disagree with?
So, I mean, just the idea of poverty and why it is the way that it is in this country. But I know that I understand that it is what it is. You know, poverty is always going to be here. But I think sometimes we forget like how dire it is for some people. And like you said, Tina, like if we can help, then great. But what is to me, like, because what I would always feel, this is why I'm struggling with it, because the job that I did, you would be literally face to face with people that were going through a crisis. And in a crisis, this is when you really realize how expensive being poor is.
Yeah.
Because in a crisis,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but may I ask what
job was? I'm not.
Okay. All right. That was my question. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
You asked brother.
Sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt.
I can't really say what it is because I still kind of work in that capacity.
Okay.
So seeing how expensive poverty is, it's literally like you're constantly just digging yourself out of a deeper hole and creating another hole, robbing Peter to pay Paul. And you can't even get to a place where you have your footing to be able to move forward. And there are programs out there, but sometimes even with those programs, they have a time limit. They have they're filled to capacity. It's just this is not a doom and gloom kind of conversation. It's reality. It's not even doom and gloom. It's some people's real life. Everyday life. It's not, I'm not saying it for like to put a cast over anything. I'm just thinking about like sometimes when we have these conversations, we're speaking from a place of privilege because we don't think like that. We don't have to think like that. And that's why I'm thankful for right now. Right. But even when you're removed from it and you were in a situation, like I've been homeless, I've been, I didn't get evicted, but I had to leave before we got evicted, child. So I've been in places, but even with that, I still was able to get out of it. I still had a way to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But when I'm talking about extreme poverty, I'm just speaking about like why people will take the $7 job, why people put themselves in situations where they come into a country where they came into the country illegally. Why they did that? Because
are you asking why?
Option. No, it's not like I'm asking you specifically why. It's kind of rhetorical.
I still feel like
you gotta understand the U.S. dollar is the basis of the entire world economy. Almost, let's just say. Most world economy is based on the U.S. dollar.
Right. understand that.
For
It was kind
five
of a
cents
rhetorical
per
question.
yeah, but I'm just saying, for them to work, if they make $7 an hour, that's a freaking fortune to some people that live in other countries. That's a fortune.
We
Right.
can't go off of other countries. We still are taking everything from the outside and bringing it into our homes. There's
That's what
only so much that you can do as an individual for your household, for the things that you have in your life. As long as the scope is on what can I do for the whole world, what can the whole world do for me, and what position am I in comparison to everyone else, it's like you lose the fact that or the idea of I still have to strive. It is no different than people making excuses for being plus size. You say you can do something. This is the idea we have, regardless to what ailment a person may have, regardless to what got them in that position. You tell them you can do something. Well, if you can't do, we can start here, and you start from smaller increments and grow into larger ones. But people like to look at people that are fit and say, you can't tell me how to become fit because you already got a six pack.
Yeah.
When they had to start from somewhere too. All I'm saying is we have to take into consideration that in order for anyone to be helped, we have to be in a position to help them. Otherwise, it's a moot idea to consider if you're not even in a position to help someone in the first place. I understand that there are people that have abject poverty, but I also know that I'm not in a position to help them because they may need more than what I can provide.
right.
Until I get to that place where I'm able to help the whole man in its entirety, that includes mentally, that includes physically, that includes socially, because some people need to be extrapolated from the places that they've landed in
All right.
life. That's expensive. Yes, it is expensive for the poor person, but it's also expensive for the person that got it too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I'm
I
sorry.
hear you that, coach. Like, I understand that there is a system at work, right? I acknowledge that. I think part of it is because I like you have worked in systems and I've seen, I don't even know how to articulate it. I've seen
It's very
disparities and
hard to articulate.
injustice.
You haven't seen it. It's very hard to articulate. If people haven't seen it,
Yeah,
it's
it's
hard
like
to explain. It's
you
very, very,
know, you've seen well-meaning people just
yeah.
didn't have.
Yes.
So I
It's
get. I'm not.
debilitating.
I understand what you're saying. That we can't just ignore that is a thing. There are
Right.
systems in place for whatever reason. I'm not getting into why or who or what.
It's
Because
not
race,
even
class, and
political. It's
social
just the reality.
things are tied together in this country. But what I will say is, I have also seen people in that situation be elevated from certain behaviors and seen them be stuck from certain behaviors. And so I think I can't divorce the some personal responsibility that one has, even in the midst of the situation, if that makes sense.
I wasn't implying that they should pull themselves out or they couldn't pull themselves out. I was just stating what it is.
Got you.
Like, sometimes there's no immediate solution for things that have been going on for centuries. It's just, I was just acknowledging that is a fact. There are people, I saw Tiffany in the chat, Tiff, saying that she was able to pull herself out of poverty. And there are people that are able to do it. There are people that don't take government assistance and they pull themselves up. But then there are others that are unable to do it for one reason or the other.
Right.
Yeah. So I've
Well,
been
back to what I was saying before. I'm sorry. Let me start over. Let me start over again. I'm sorry. I was just saying there are people that were, that $7 an hour to them is like $1 million to us. That's all I was saying. And that's why that's why there's so many people that are willing to come over to this country for that reason, because
Right. That's kind of what I was
Yeah.
saying too. When I was asking why, it wasn't because I didn't know the answer. It was just like a rhetorical question. Just why do you think? Like, in
okay.
other words, why do you think they're coming here? So I understand
Oh, yeah.
why they're coming here, but it was
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
like a question, like,
Yes.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna
I just wanted to clarify that. I'm sorry.
uh-huh.
yeah. Now
No, I
I
get
wanted
you.
to add that so I've been homeless twice.
Mhm.
So I kind of I've seen on different levels. A lot of it, like the messaging, is it's gonna reach the ears of people that have the wherewithal. So if we like
Mhm.
we're talking to each other right now, and we may be
Yeah.
talking to somebody who may be maybe a little bit on a lower level than us. That's the right word. But the people that are that need both people in the house to work, and they're both working 60 hours a week, and
Mhm.
they're not going to be able to, they're not going to be seeing this messaging because they're probably trying to get a 3-hour nap before they go to their second
Next
job.
thing.
Yes. Yes.
So so just it's just different levels, and the people that can't hear the message is really, unless you are actively like seeking them out and finding them, is really
Mhm.
no way to get the message into them. There's really no way that you can help them or like reach back if you're not actively doing it. And what
Right.
uh, who's is it? Everybody is the person next to me. What's your name? Because I can't see the
Oh, that's
Tina.
Tina.
That's
Yeah.
Tina.
So
Tina.
like, yeah, so like the idea of us, taking care of ourselves first. So the people that are a little bit below us, they're grinding. They're trying to get out of there. So they
Mhm.
don't have time. And then we are just a little bit above them, and we're still kind of doing the same thing. We're trying to
Mhm.
set ourselves up. So we're not prepared yet to grab them back at this reach down right now. Maybe we can give them advice, but we're still not prepared. So we're just, everybody's kind of, and I think most people are just trying to get through these days and these weeks. And if you lose your
Mm-hmm.
job, you're a couple of weeks without from being poverty or being homeless. So like we trying to separate
Mm-hmm.
ourselves from that. So it is a tough thing, but the conversation, having a conversation right now is like, and it's not just now, it's an ongoing conversation.
Yeah.
This shouldn't be a one-off. We shouldn't just drop it here at the end of this show and then go, all right, well,
Next.
we should double back and double back at a later time and continue the conversation.
Right.
Right, I agree. I agree. Oh,
It's
yeah.
deep. It's a deep.
Yo, this be real. Like,
It's deep. It's deep,
oh,
and it's unfortunate that people even have to
pause.
go through some of the things they have to go through.
Yeah. But stuff happens, life happens. But
Mm-hmm.
even if you're trying to help somebody that is going through some things, they have to have that mindset to where they want to, get up out of whatever situation they're in. 'Cause you could try to help them all day and all night, but if they don't have that mental push, it's might as well be helping a brick wall.
Mm.
And there are certain things that you just have to have in
Right.
order to be able to really become successful. And it takes a person being able to be at a certain level for them to be able to receive what they need, because you got to have the resources to maintain what you're given.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
So anything below being able to receive, then you're kind of out of the talking points, so to speak.
Right.
Tina, can I ask you, what would you consider essential for becoming successful on your own?
Community.
You have to
Um,
elaborate a little bit, please.
I wasn't finished.
Okay,
Um,
so I'm sorry.
I talk a little slow so you can understand what I'm
That
saying, and so I
that's
can
all right. I'm sorry.
think through the thought,
Mhm,
or the answer rather. Um, you need community. You need access.
mhm.
Um, you need um, you need a support system, and you need character. You need integrity.
Mm.
Um, you have to be knowledgeable or at least wise enough to know what to do with the knowledge you have, and wise enough to ask the questions in order to get the knowledge that you don't have. And you must be a good steward, because it makes no sense to get all of these things, to squander them, to never have them again.
I'm going to add something, is the humility to be able to ask when you don't
Yeah.
know something.
Well, that goes with character. If you don't have the proper
Mm.
character, you know what I'm saying? Character development also includes humility. Because how are you going to
Okay.
ask if you are lifted up in pride and feel like, I know everything I need to know? You know,
Yes.
you can't approach
Yes.
life with that attitude, you know.
I've met many of people that their downfall was because of that. They it's plateaued at the I'm a cook, and they plateaued because they were just unwilling to say, "Hey, how do you do that?" or how do you make that?" It's just unwilling to do that. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Pride.
exactly. The pride gets in the way, and I become who I am now because I'm not ashamed to say, "Hey, show me how you make that."
Hold on.
I've never seen that.
Can I address the elephant in the room? Because I just saw something.
Oh,
Rest
go ahead.
assured, rest assured
Uh-oh.
Mhm.
that I have
Uh-oh.
personal convictions that cause my success because I'm submitted to Jesus. Now, you could submit yourself to whomever, whenever,
Um,
and may you have success in that way of life. But I will say, and I'm not afraid to say, that I have a relationship with the one who created me. And therefore, I'm able to say I can point to my level of success because of who I submitted myself to.
Wait, what happened? I missed it. Sorry, guys.
That's a lot to go back on. But
Oh, okay.
um
No, I was just.
I Tina, I
Mm-mm.
understand that 100%, but you understand that there's a lot of people stating the exact same thing that are doing evil, you know?
But who are they submitting to again? There are people that have their own mindsets about, okay, let's take this for instance. Can a person come to your house and do what they want to do with your house?
No.
No, no ma'am.
Okay, then. Well, and they can't say that your house belongs to them either, just because they came over there, right?
Word.
Correct.
There are a lot of people that claim a lot of things, but don't possess the character, the authority, or anything else that comes along with the thing that they claim. So
Mhm.
I let them say they whatever they do evil, okay, but if their life is not reflecting what they believe, are they what they actually believe? No.
Yeah.
that is
Well,
true.
that's what I'm getting at. I was just saying there's a lot of people nowadays claiming to be Christians, and you're seeing all the stuff in the news, especially what's going on right now. And you can't
Rabbit
somebody
hole.
you
Rabbit
can't
Well,
go
hole.
you can't
that's a generalization too, though, and I think that's a
Uh-oh.
little bit unfair
You went there.
to
Don't
paint
going down the
everybody
wrong
with the
road,
same
brother.
brush. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me hush
No,
my
not
mouth.
you, Danielle. I was saying.
Oh, I think
no
that
I
I
was
know
not
that you
painting
weren't intending
anybody.
to, but that's
I'm just saying that it's hard when somebody says I'm a Christian.
so you
You have to
interrupted
go
me.
back by the I'm
Can I
sorry.
Can I finish my statement?
Oh, of course.
I'm sorry. So, what I was saying is that it's a generalization. And so when you say things like there are a lot of Christians that, yeah, there's a lot of Christians that, there's a lot of non-Christians that, there are a lot of Muslims that, there's a lot of Jews that, there's a lot, whole lot of, it's a very big generalization. And I think that is where we get the difficulty from, right?
Yeah.
It is the right of someone who believes a thing to articulate that thing for themselves. And so what
Right.
Miss Tina is saying, this is what I believe. She's not saying all the people who have this belief system believe that, because that's just not true. Black people are not a monolith. Christians are not a monolith. Muslims are, that nobody is speaking for the entirety of the people group. And so I think when we are making statements, especially on a panel, we're making statements for ourselves. And unless we say, hey, this is representing all the people that look like me, can't really say that all the Christians, or the most of the,
And I think
So
that's
there-
where a lot of conversations get messed up, is that people, just for lack of better words or lack of better term, we just can't get past that, being able to agree to disagree. Like we don't all have to think the same.
I agree.
That is true, but I also believe that there is objective truths to everything that you do. And if you have objective truths as it relates to laws, as it pertains to rules, and I get that people feel like I'm doing the same thing they doing over there at Jones' house and at James' house, because we live on the same street and our houses are painted the same color, but it doesn't have the same thing going on the inside. And so with everyone having a particular interpretation of what they think the thing is, there is an objective truth to what it actually supposed to be.
true.
And when you strive to do that, it makes a clearer picture for everyone else of what it's supposed to be.
I concur, Miss Tina. You spoke for me with that one.
Yeah. All right.
And that's not me trying to shove nothing down anybody's. I'm not trying to force an ideology on anyone. I'm trying to keep from saying pause. I'm not trying to force any ideology onto anyone. What I am stating, though, is that everyone always wants to split hairs about you do this, but I don't do that. I do this, but you don't do that. We can't be and all this and the other. And I'm like, well, if you just go get with the basics of things,
Mm-hmm.
can you get down to the nitty gritty? Can you get down to the foundation of the situation, and then go from there? But when you have people that's like, all of you all are in a group, either throw all of y'all overboard or everybody can do whatever, and that's not the case.
Right.
Yeah. I agree.
It's just not.
Well, I was talking about these. I don't know. I guess I don't want to bring this up. It's kind of a heavy topic, and but I just people that say that they believe in something and live their lives exact opposite, and live with hate and live with I don't agree with that. And then they call themselves Christians. That's all I was getting at,
And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't think it's wrong with the feeling of people shouldn't be walking around with hatred in their heart and then trying to preach or tell somebody I got a love message. It doesn't go together.
Yes,
it doesn't.
That's
and it creates confusion. And I understand where you're coming from with that.
That's where I was getting at, and that was all. And I don't want to bring the panel down, but everything happening nowadays, and people saying that they're Christians, but literally not living like a Christian. You know what I mean?
I think you know what it is. I think you're saying Christian.
And I think that's what it's like. Oh, just the Christians are acting like that. It's only that group of that religious party.
No. I'm not saying. I'm not saying.
You said Christian about 10 times, bro.
I don't
That's
think
all
I
I'm
don't.
saying.
You're not. I don't
Uh,
think that you intentionally are saying it's only Christians, but that's how it could be perceived. That
Well, it
oh,
was brought up
sorry.
in the chat
Christians say
actually,
that
and
they
I
Yeah,
hopped
believe.
on there.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I
I
was
didn't.
addressing
I
It's
something that
consistently in the
came
chat.
from the
Yeah,
chat.
it
It's
was
been in
really.
the
I think
chat.
it started in the chat, right? Like the
Yeah,
whole.
it did.
Yeah,
Comic Brandon
yeah.
made a comment.
Yeah,
I addressed it, and then it went down here from there, or
yeah.
uphill from there,
Sorry.
depending
I'm
on your
sorry.
You asked.
perspective. You know.
Elevated. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can get to some heavy stuff, but
No,
I
it's
wanted to keep it
okay,
lighthearted.
Brandon. You okay?
You
You okay?
know, I wanted to keep it lighthearted tonight.
It's all right.
But
It's all right. Just we can't just generalize everybody. Whatever their beliefs,
oh,
religion, or anything
if
like
I
that.
was
It
if you
was
guys perceive me as generalizing, no, that's not what I meant. I just was saying I've noticed that there were a lot of Christian people saying hateful things that are not Christian, and it just blows my mind. That's all I was saying, and I didn't mean to
Yeah,
generalize
That
anybody. I did not
but that's
mean
a
to generalize
but
anybody.
Brandon, this is the thing.
that,
That
that's
is
a
a
generalization.
generalization.
That's
That's the definition of a generalization. So if you said like
there are
just
people of
I,
various religions
like
saying
yeah, if
things.
you just
That's
said,
not
some people say that they represent something, they represent something good, but their actions are not good.
right. Right.
Period.
yeah.
Because saying Christians, it will make people that are Christian feel like they have to say that's not all of us.
uh,
Just like if people
I
say
no. I understand.
something about black
I
women,
wasn't.
like when people wait, hold on, Brandon. Like when
Go
if
ahead.
people
Go ahead.
say all black women are angry, or you're an angry black woman, you automatically feel like you have
All black
to
women. Yeah.
defend them. So
Right.
that's it. Like you don't have to
That's
say it
all.
again.
You
We
don't have to be
understand what you were
sorry,
trying
bro.
to say. It's
hmm
just I'm trying to move it along. Really.
All right. All right. All I was just saying that there are a lot. How's that? Is that a better statement?
That's
No,
Okay.
it's
here.
fine,
Okay.
Here's
Brandon.
Okay.
You're fine.
Okay.
Elevated.
There are a lot of people
Next.
that I'm listening to that are saying this, and I'm thinking to myself, if you're Christian, you shouldn't be thinking this way or saying that. Is that still
you're good. You're good, sir. You're good, sir. I'm over here with my attention elsewhere to this chat. I'm trying to be quiet.
Maybe,
all
Thank you.
right, all right.
yeah,
But I think we
maybe
should
you
go to
could.
the next topic.
So Vibrant Low, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop putting the chat up on the screen since um you want to see people's names. So no more comments up on the screen. Now you can see everybody's name.
Oh,
Oh.
Oh, I didn't know you couldn't do them at the same time.
yeah. Well,
I
you
mean, the
had it
chat is on the
highlighted.
side.
hmm
You can see like pieces of the
It's,
chat on the. If you, I don't know if you guys see that.
yeah,
It's
it's small though. It's in the corner.
tiny. Yeah.
So I mean, that's the best I could do. So that's
Get get you a producer in the back and have them turn it on and off.
Eventually, right? Elevated.
yeah. Eventually, either that, or y'all gonna have to super chat to get some
Hello.
I know that's right. Hey,
big dreams.
Throw
Big
me a
dreams.
dollar. Throw me a dollar. Son.
I appreciate the colorful discourse tonight, guys.
Absolutely.
It's all
Good. It's what
good.
it's supposed
We
to
all
be.
friends here.
It's supposed to
Yep.
be to do that.
I like to have conversations
Kumbaya.
where people don't
Piece of
agree.
shit.
Yeah.
Like I think it's interesting to hear other people's perspectives.
Right.
Everybody's
So
not going to feel the same. Everybody wasn't raised in the same way. Everybody doesn't have the same,
Mhm.
and that's okay.
yeah, that's what makes this interesting.
Yeah.
Everybody could, open their mind and learn a thing or two, and no judgment here.
Yeah.
We listen and we don't judge.
Except
Oh,
when we do.
oh no,
Y'all be lying.
I'll
Y'all
be
be
Right.
judging.
judging. Y'all
You
be
heard me
judging
right.
now.
Oh no, I'll
No,
be judging. No,
I'm the judgy one.
I'm just playing.
Um,
But that was a nice long segment. The next talking point, which is going to be the last talking point, is going to be community and support systems.
Let's
Mhm.
segue.
Surround yourself with people who uplift you, not drag you down. The right circle can turn setbacks into growth opportunities. Be open to learning from others' struggles and wins. Accountability partners will give you a faster bounce back. Major pause on that one.
What was the pause? Hold on. Say that again. What was the pause? What was the pause?
No, the faster bounce back from accountability partners.
I mean, but that's so true. I said it earlier when Brandon was talking about, was asking me about my definition for success. You got to have community. You got to
Mm.
have
Yep.
people that are there that can help you, not just to celebrate when you're up, but to
Yep.
help to lift you when you
Right.
fall or when you're down. You know.
Right.
And you have to build yourself around with people that are positive around you. I mean, you can have negative people working with you that you call your friends or whatever. That'll just put you down or whatever. But you gotta stay away from those type of toxic people. You know,
And
you
we
have to
have to do
put.
self checks too, though, because sometimes what we consider negative can actually be something that's constructive criticism that's there to sharpen you and to make you better. But if you're
Yes,
sensitive and you only want yes men in your corner, then you have a whole nother issue that you have to deal with.
I
Absolutely.
agree. I
Yeah,
agree. I
yeah,
agree.
yeah.
Yeah.
I saw this.
Well, how do you figure out whether you're one of those people or not? You know?
That's
I,
self
People
reflection.
stop telling you the truth.
yeah,
Self
I saw this
reflection.
quote. I don't know where I saw it. It said something like I don't know what I don't know, but I know there are things that I don't know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so if you go into the situation with your mind open, basically,
Yeah.
you know, you can learn, especially if you looking at somebody and like, they say the people you surround yourself, you shouldn't be the smartest one in the room.
Yep.
So, you find somebody that's doing it that's on either a step above you or way a couple of steps above you,
Hmm.
or somebody that got that grind and that dog that you want. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You can learn from anybody, I believe, but definitely you got to be open for correction. You cannot have people just saying, "Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right." And meanwhile, if they say your five closest friends, all five of y'all struggling, but everybody telling each other they right and they doing
Hmm.
a good job, and there ain't no upward movement. So yeah, you
Right.
definitely.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I said this earlier. I think you need different types of friends in your community support system. There is room for the person who's going to sit with you and help you with your tears and just sit and let you have your feelings. And there's also the life coach that's going to be like, all right, now get up from there. I think you need both, because there are some times where people are like, you don't get to feel like you just have to keep going. There's no room for that. And I don't think that's always helpful. I think you need both. I think you need actually the spectrum of somebody who's going to push you, but also somebody who's going to allow you to have feelings that will help you towards the middle. Because I've seen that kind of really tough love approach, and that's all the person gets, and they
Mhm.
end up that's not a good place either. So I think there needs to be flexibility and boundaries. I mean, and balance in that. And you need different types of community, like different people that are going to allow the different facets of you to flourish.
Hmm.
I
And
agree.
I completely agree with that because I have quite a bit of an aggressive approach. I'm very straightforward, and I'm not the huggy bear. I'm just not. I'm not gonna be. Oh, it's gonna be okay. I'm not one of those type of people. I'm like, hey, this is what it is. What can we do now to move from here to get to the next step? On
Hmm.
the other hand, there are other people that can share that space and just come on, bring it in. Let's hug. And I'm like, I'ma touch me not. Don't do that to me. You know what I'm saying? So I understand how it is so important to have those different people that you can express the different parts of you and they be embraced and you still get that, that toughening that you need when that iron needs to sharpen that iron as well.
Hmm.
Yeah.
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 When it comes down to it, like you said, you don't want somebody a yes man in your corner the entire time because you know, at work, I I want somebody to just walk up to me and say, "Hey, you got a booger hanging out of your nose," you know, something like that,
What?
just to tell you the truth. Just to tell you the truth. Hey,
Yeah. I mean, that's the small
I
thing.
mean, I'm trying to simplify it, but
Yeah,
that's
Right. I got
basically what you're trying to say, and yeah,
Yeah, because you're right,
you know,
Brandon. There are people that will see that booger and not say nothing.
Talk
Let
bad,
them
and
walk
bad
around
about
they'll
you.
they'll giggle. Not
Hmm.
only will they giggle, they'll go tap somebody on the
Yeah,
corner
yeah.
and
and
go,
show
"Hey,
you.
hey,
Yeah.
Hey, you
look
see
over
that
here."
booger in Brandon's nose?
But what I will say
Keep those
too,
type
going
of
back to
people
what
away
Tina
from you.
said, you have to be the type of person that's going to receive that. Because sometimes you
Yeah,
don't tell the
Hmm.
person because
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
know this is the type of person that we're going to be fighting. Like I'm not going to Shaquanda and telling her because we're going to be.
Shaquanda is
I just
crazy.
made that up because it was nobody. Because Laura, I'd be there
We,
slash Shireen and it'd be a thing. So I just made up a name. They'd be like, "Oh, she would talk about Coach." No, but I think that you have to take some responsibility too. There are sometimes they don't tell
Yeah,
you because you're not the type of person that can take feedback. You can't take truth.
Agreed.
yeah.
So they don't say anything. They will snicker behind your back because the last time they tried to tell you, you attacked them.
You crashed out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a self-improvement thing right there because you need to be able to take constructive criticism. Period. Point blank in life. If you don't learn from your mistakes, you're doomed to failure. You know,
Yes.
Absolutely.
that's period. That's period. And I've learned. I've always learned. I always take constructive criticism. I'll take even. I mean, I
How do you
whatever you
know
got to
when it's
say. Okay.
constructive?
Well, I'm sorry.
How do you know when it's constructive?
Mm.
Oh, you don't. You don't. You
So
just take all
how
the
do you take
criticism. You
Mm.
take all the criticisms, but you evaluate them, and if you have a intelligence, then you can work it out that, oh, well, you go back and you look at what was happening at the time, I'm
I
I'm
think I
I'm
think you can tell when it's constructive when there's like it's a solution based thing. They're not just saying
yeah.
don't do that. They're giving you an alternative or some kind of solution to your issue.
Yeah.
Would that be considered
Well,
constructive?
yeah, if they
I,
can,
w- I would go
I'm
so
kind of
far as to
asking.
say, I would go so far as to
go ahead,
say
Christine.
that a lot of times it's about, do you know the character of the person bringing you the information?
Mm.
Can you
Mm.
trust them to be that source of criticism and not just be someone to criticize?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
I can give you
Because
an
a lot,
example.
were you about to say something, Brandon?
Oh, I just said I could give you an example, but I made something and somebody said it tasted like shit. Now I'm gonna go back and look at that guy and
That's not
a hunt.
constructive.
What's that?
Yeah,
That's not
that
constructive to me because it's just just a criticism.
disrespectful. That was
Oh
Hey,
yeah,
why
yeah,
does
yeah,
it
disrespectful.
yeah,
taste like shit?
yeah.
If it tastes
Whatever.
like shit, is it too
Either way,
salty? What?
Mm.
it's criticism. I'm feeding 100 people in a day as a cook. You know.
Yeah, but
Um,
that's not constructive. It's still not helping you to make it better. You're just
no, yeah, no. I understand what you're
Yeah.
saying. Yes. Somebody says, the one person says, "Hey, it tastes like shit." I said, "Oh, okay." Now, am I gonna look at him and said, "Well,
You look
your
like
mama. No, you know what I mean. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'd be like, oh, okay,
I
sorry, you
think
didn't
it's a
like.
better way to say it because
Yeah.
it's okay if somebody starts out with that statement, that your cooking ain't worth a hill of beans. I want to know.
How
I
could
want to know
Well,
what's
that's
wrong with it.
Yes, and
Right.
this is
Can you point out to
exactly
me
Miss
what's
Tina.
distasteful about it?
Exactly, Miss Tina. That's exactly what I was going for. Was that it was like, well, what was your problem with it? Oh, it's too salty, or it's too.
Okay,
Oh,
right.
okay, all right,
Right.
okay.
That's
You
more
know,
constructive than your
It
food.
hey.
should be solutions
Well,
based
I
and not
see. I
just
I learned even through those
loaded with insults.
I guess you can, whatever. Yeah, no, but we. I don't know. There's a lot of insults that get thrown back and forth at work. I,
so.
I
It sounds like
it's a
there needs to be better communication.
Well, in a kitchen
no.
setting,
There's
that's kind
no.
of how it goes.
If they don't like the food that I make, they say, hey, this tastes like shit. Okay, you know, but at the same time, I ask them why, etc., and they do tell me, hey, I think it was a little too salty, or I think there was,
sounds like you
usually it's.
sounds like you got like that kind of relationship with them.
That's
If
what I was gonna say.
if
Hmm.
you got that kind of
Well, I've
relationship,
been working with these guys for 20 years. So
listen,
that's
I've been
good.
working.
Oh,
I've been working with people for 20 years, and there's a way that you're gonna talk to me. I don't give a shit
Right.
what
yeah.
Right.
how good
Mhm.
how close we are. If there's some correction to be made, I don't care if you're my boss, and I'm gonna push back. If you talk to me a certain kind of way,
Mhm.
let's bring
well,
it down a little
we're
bit.
brother, I understand that these are the people that are down on these aren't my bosses. These are
I'm
my
saying anybody.
coworkers.
I'm saying coworkers, anybody. We
Anybody.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're okay
I
with it, Brandon, if that's the way you don't mind,
we
but
we do it to we do it to each other. That's
So
we
So
right.
bust
y'all,
each other.
y'all be
We
joking
bust each
then.
other's chops.
Right there, that's not.
We bust each other's chops,
Hmm.
and that's what we do.
yeah.
Uh,
I
No,
think it's
And
correct. Even in that, I think there's a way to present information if it's being constructive, right? And I think going back to
Hmm.
what you said, Miss Tina, earlier, the integrity of the person. So if I say,
yeah,
I'll use an example. There are people like, everybody knows I'm a church person, right? So if a sermon is terrible, if somebody is misquoting scripture, I'm
Mhm.
not gonna be like, oh, that was amazing. No, I'm gonna be like, come on, let's bring out the study tools, let's talk about it. Because me as a person, my integrity is not gonna let me just let you look crazy. I just can't do it. But I'm also not gonna be mean, and I'm not gonna be
Why
unkind.
not?
That's you
hmm
said I'm not going because that's just not my personality. That's not my personality. And again, as a person with integrity,
I know
what is
that.
the goal? The goal is to help you improve. So I think that that's
Right.
what it is. Going back to what Coach said too, like if the goal is to help me get better, then it is the injury that produces growth. It is you didn't like the way what I said, but was it
Mhm.
true and did it help you when I said it? So I think that's a little bit different. If they say, hey, this food is terrible, you put too much turmeric in it, you got some coriander, some curry powder, you might fix it up a little bit. That's
Mhm.
constructive as opposed to just being crass and not helpful.
Agreed.
we work construction half of the year too, so it's a little bit
hope
different.
y'all washing y'all
It's
hope
a little
y'all
bit
washing
different
y'all
on the
hands.
construction site. What's
I
that?
work around. Those type of men. I have for several years because of the industry that I come out of, Brandon Doax. Um,
Okay.
but
Hey,
it
question, Tina.
they do have the tendency to speak a particular way, but
Yes.
it's
Yes, ma'am.
understood to the person that's listening why it's being said, how it's being said.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And
Well,
so
that's exactly. Is It may
Can I
seem
please finish,
disrespectful
sir?
to.
No.
Can I finish my point? Just a little change.
Yeah, go
That's
ahead.
there go
I'm
me
sorry.
some
I'm sorry.
constructive criticism right there. Let me finish. Uh,
Go ahead.
what I was saying was when you work around when you have certain relationships like work relationships, there is an environment that there's a particular standard that has to be met. Them coming to the place of meeting that standard may mean that this environment uses colorful language, and men
Mm.
don't care. They use lots of colorful language, but there
Oh,
are
very
times when they
colorful.
need to bring something to me and they can't talk to me like they talk to homeboy, like they
Yes.
talk to somebody else, because I
Yes, ma'am.
require a certain amount of respect and I give it automatically so you can
Right.
know where I
Yes, ma'am.
stand. On the
Yes,
other
ma'am.
hand, on the other hand, when it comes to your friends can say stuff to you and you know where they're coming from when they're talking to you because you understand the character of the individual that's talking to you.
Yep.
You know when they didn't mean that in the way it sounded to someone else. I know the heart of
Exactly.
that person, and therefore I can handle what they say to me better than them saying it to someone that does not have that already established relationship.
You explained it more eloquently than I could, and thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
You did a wonderful job. But
Hey,
yeah.
guys.
Yeah. Okay.
She's,
Elevated.
she's out.
Yeah, it's time to wrap this one up.
Yeah.
This was an interesting panel to say the very, very least.
Hey, thank you
Uh
for having me, sir.
yes, sir. You always bring the twist to the panel. So I haven't decided if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just messing with you, Brandon. You know, we like different ideas and opinions and things like that.
Yes. Yeah.
You
Of
know,
course. Me too.
right, right. But yeah, we're gonna wrap this up here. You know, we got things to do in the morning and stuff, work. But not for too long. We're not gonna be working for too long. But
We got to do our. We got to work one of our multiple streams of income, right? Elevated.
There you go. There you go.
yeah, that's why I was late today.
Have a wonderful night, Miss Tina.
You have a wonderful night as well, Brandon.
Dang,
All right,
Brandon, you don't want me to have a wonderful night either, Brandon?
no,
Damn.
Oh,
Nah.
I'm
yes,
most certain.
sir. Yes, sir. You're the reason I came on. You're the reason I came on to begin with.
Pause.
Whoa, whoa. Oh goodness. Oh.
all right. Y'all could have been anywhere in these internet streets, but you're here with us, and I appreciate each and every one of you for taking some time out of your evening. Everybody, take care. I will see you guys tomorrow evening. Hopefully, I will be on time.
Yeah. What happened today? No, I'm just kidding.
I was working on the car.
I feel you, brother.
I'm in grind mode. I told you that, Coach.
And I love that for you.
September.
Mm-hmm.
Step it up, right? Step it up.
All right, y'all have a good night.
It set it up September for me.
Okay.
Cool. And then bam. All right, let me stop.
All right,
Thank you,
y'all.
Elevated. Very
Brother
nice.
was
Thank
about to say something.
No, I was just gonna say I always like to say to your loved ones, don't leave anything unsaid. And y'all be safe.
Absolutely.
Have a great night, everyone.
Absolutely. Have a good night.
Night, guys. Bye.
All right. Take care, everybody.